Alright everyone, so the new Final Fantasy trading card game set, Rebellion's Call, is coming out in a few weeks here, and there's a bunch of cards in the set from War of the Visions. And we've seen this before, we've seen War of the Visions trading cards, and there's been a few here and there, but this is like a whole whack of cards, and they look amazing. I actually have some of these cards in person with me today. Here are two examples of previous War of the Visions cards from previous sets. So we have right here Elda Leonis, and then right next Ketone. So these cards look amazing. They're like really nice hard cardboard material, probably the best trading card out of any trading card game that I've bought, and they make great collector's pieces. And there's some lower rarity War of the Visions cards, there's some higher rarity ones. Some of them are pretty good cards too, so people that actually play the game are going to be looking for them too. But if you're interested in War of the Visions, then this might be a really cool way to get some collector pieces. So we're going to go through all of the cards that have been revealed in just a moment. First up is Adelard, and he is a really good card, so people might actually be looking for him because he has this survivability that he doesn't seem to have in War of the Visions, but he also has this way to power up your different abilities. He even has Jamming Thrust, although it doesn't cancel a spell, it just does a whole lot of damage. Next up is Khury, and he has the new crystal function, or gameplay mechanic that's in Final Fantasy trading card game, and he's another solid card. He's a hero rarity, so it's the second highest rarity that you can get. They clearly like him. He's pretty cool. We've got Gargas, because of course one of the most popular characters from War of the Visions has to make it into the trading card game. You know what I'm saying? Gargas is actually pretty interesting too, because he's got this cool poison mechanic where he can just put poison counters on people, lower their power, and then his special is casting bio, and he can put poison on a bunch of different units and basically lower all of their powers. And he's only costs 2. He's a rare card, so he's going to be pretty easy to get if you want to get yourself your own Gargas. Now we also have Dario. Dario's another hero rarity card, and I really want to get him in foil for myself just to collect him. But he actually looks really cool because he's actually a tank, and he actually has the Prince job, which is kind of an important job in Final Fantasy trading card game. You can do some stuff to support Prince characters. So if he's dealt damage, he takes less damage because he's a tank. But he also can't be broken by summons or abilities that don't deal damage. So he has all this tanky stuff. He even has Aroaga Blade to break characters, just basically destroy other cards. He's pretty cool. Next up is Durando, because again, you have Gargas, you have to have Durando. The only thing they're missing, is their adopted son. But he's actually pretty good too, because he's a rare card. But when he deals damage to your opponent, he gets you a boatload of value. And what's kind of cool about these all these War of the Visions cards is that they all have these special abilities that you can see on the screen here, and that's really cool. That's one of my favorite parts about the Final Fantasy trading card game, is using a special. So he's got a pretty cool special too. It's Rebellious Spirit from the game. Lorenzo is another value card, and he basically has jump in his text. If he attacks, he doesn't activate during the next attack active phase. It basically means that when he attacks, he jumps at the opponent, and then it takes a while for him to land. Like, it's kind of cool. But if he does deal damage to your opponent, the jump is really powerful, then you can actually recover a character from your break zone. So it's a very high value card, even though he's just a common. We have Dr. Diggs' card here, Sir O. He's a samurai. Samurais have lots of support in War of the Visions, although not necessarily in this element. Fire is the main element that you see samurais in, but he had to be lightning, obviously, because they're true to the game. So O is actually pretty neat too. He's just a rare, but he gets you a crystal, and he has a cool special that also gets you a crystal. It's kind of expensive, but he's an okay card. We also have Salire, who only costs 1. She's really cheap, but she has a bunch of effects. She's also a hero rarity, so she's a little bit more rare, but she has all these cool effects. And then Learte, the whimsy shop owner slash proprietress, whatever you want to call her. She's kind of a weird card. She just, gains power when someone dies, because that's very thematic. In the game, she's all about taking lives. We've also got Glaciella, which is one of the most interesting cards in the entire set, and she's a legendary card, so she's going to be the most expensive, most likely to acquire from War of the Visions. By the way, these War of the Visions cards, there was a Mastery card and a Stern card, and they're both banned. They're both too strong for the game, so they're both you know, they're done. I never thought Mastery would be too strong though, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so Glaciella, she basically lets you use all of these like special abilities by paying crystals, and like you have been seeing, a bunch of the War of the Visions characters give you crystals, so she just basically has a ton of value and can enable people to use special abilities really easily, and special abilities are usually expensive but very strong. We've got Zazan, and he's kind of a simple card. He's, you know, he's kind of big and powerful, but if he's dealt less damage than his power, he doesn't take damage. He's the unkillable, right? So they kind of did a good job. I love the Goga background on this card too. It looks really good. We've got Miranda, who has resistance break, which is, you know, kind of an interesting spell to choose from Red Mage, but whatever. It's kind of a cool card a cool ability that deals damage based on how many cards your opponent has in their hand. So kind of, you know, not the best out of all the War of the Visions cards, but, you know, still cool that she has a special. Then we have Ramada, and Ramada looks pretty good too, even though she's just a rare. She has an ability that lets you return people that your opponent controls back to their hand, and you can gain crystals, and then you can use specials. So she plays well with Glaciella. You want to have both of them possibly in your deck. Next up is Engelbert. Engelbert's another tank. It's really cool. He's Job Paladin. When he enters the field, you get 2 crystals. 2. Wow. And then he can use a crystal to basically cover somebody. He can use, you know, whatever ability to turn or negate some damage, or an ability, or whatever. So it's kind of cool that they thematically have him as a light unit. They thematically are using him as a tank. I love to see that kind of stuff in the trading card game. And then we have Venera. This is another card that people are very excited for. By the way, Engelbert was a hero, Venera is also a hero rarity, so those are the second highest rarity, harder to get, but still not too bad. So Venera, the cost to cast Venera is reduced by 1 for each crystal that you have. If you just have crystals saved up, she costs less, and she can cost 0. She only costs 2, so you only need 2 crystals. To be able to play her for 0, she has haste, and whenever you attack, you can pay a crystal, and when you do that, all of your opponents lose power, and it makes it really easy to like reduce the power of everybody, and then maybe you deal damage to them all, and then they all die, or maybe they just can't block you because they're too weak now. Whatever it is, she's basically using her assassin ways to weaken her opponents, similar to what she does in the game by decreasing defense with her defense breaks, and I think that's really thematically a very cool card. And then we're back to the beginning. So those are all of the cards. They're really cool. I think I'm gonna have to pick up quite a few of them for collection purposes, and then hopefully one day, you know, my local scene for Final Fantasy trading card games starts back up in Vancouver. But I know that the game is actually kind of having a resurgence in the United States and also in Eastern Canada. So a lot of people are playing Final Fantasy trading card game. You just have to head down to your local shop and you can actually go and pick up some cards and play some matches with other people. It's pretty easy to learn, but really addicting, so watch out. And if you want to buy some cards but there's no shops near you, then you're going to use the Haven's website to order some cards. So I'll put the link to that in the description of the video. You can go there and you can get all the cards that you want. The guy that owns the shop is a guildmate of mine, but also he is a longtime supporter of Final Fantasy trading card game, and you know, definitely if you can't support your local game store, then that's the next best thing. So you know, go there, buy some cards, and enjoy the wonderful world of the Final Fantasy trading card game.